Okay, this is 7-4, numbers 20 and 32. All right, let's start in with number 20. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute this 4 to both the 7 and the 10 to the 8th. So remember there's an invisible 1 here. So we're going to do 7 to the 1 times 4. So 1 times 4, that's 7 to the 4th times 10 to the 8 times 4. So that's 32. And then the convention with scientific notation is that we figure out what this number actually is, but we leave this as 10 to the 32. So in scientific notation, you're always going to have something times 10 to a power. So we figure out what 7 to the 4th is, put that in our calculators, and we get 2,401 times 10 to the 32. Now another convention with scientific notation is that we want to have just something in the decimal in the tens place. We don't want to have not tens place in the ones place. We want something in the ones place. We just want to have we don't want to have a tens, hundreds, thousands place. We just want to have a ones place. So essentially we want it to look like this. Times 10 to some power. We don't know what power yet. So that means we have to move our decimal place 3 places. So we're moving our decimal place 3 places. And I go into more detail on this in another video, but for this one, I just want to say when we go 3 places to the left, when we go 3 places to the left, that is like dividing by 10 to the third. So if we're dividing this side by 10 to the third, in order to keep this the same, in order to not change what this number is, if we divide this side by 10 to the third, we have to multiply this side by 10 to the third. So we're essentially multiplying this side by 10 to the third, which remember is the same thing at we add the exponents here. So we're going to, because we're essentially dividing this side by 10 to the third. So if we're dividing this side and multiplying this side, we're not changing anything. So down here, we get 10 to the 35th. 10 to the 35th. So convention tells us that this is the form that our answer is supposed to be in. We have something in the ones place, and we have 10 to a power, and this is the format that our solution should be in for scientific notation. But essentially, we're just distributing 4, figuring out what this number to the 4th even equals, and then moving our decimal place and changing our exponent accordingly. And like I said, I get into more detail in another video. All right, let's talk about number 32. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And in number 32, we are in the worksheet where I have a question mark, they have a box, but I just put a question mark because that made more sense to me. So that question mark is where the box is on your worksheet. So for this one, we're trying to figure out what exponent here would make this a true statement. So I think that the easiest way to figure this out would be rearrange this side to look more like this side. So I'm going to bring this n to the 8th up to the numerator, which means I need to change the sign of the exponent. So I still have m squared n to the negative 4, and that all of that is to some power, I don't know what yet, equals m to the 4th n to the negative 8th. So if I have something in a denominator or in a numerator and I want to change it to the other side of the fraction, I have to change the sign of the exponent. Usually that's going from negative to positive because I always want positive exponents in my answer. But sometimes in order to figure out what my answer is, if I'm looking for something else, right, it might be better for me to go the other direction. So basically now that I've got these so that they look similar, I'm just going to ask myself, what do I need to multiply by these to get to these? And hopefully you can see that that would be 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4, and negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So our answer is going to be 2, right? That's what's going to go in the box on your paper. It's going to be 2. All right. Hope that helps. I will see you guys in the next video.